Right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guten Tag, wherever you might be watching this. So, this is a little workshop that I've got to deck out today. Got to put some power. You might have remembered in a previous video we come and had a quick look at this job. So I'm here today, 3 days, nearly 3 days I reckon, to get this one done. So I'll just turn the camera around and show you what's going on. So, I've got a contactum Defender board. Really like these, rcbo board. People do moan that these have got the big rcbos, but soon they're going to bring the shortened ones down with the functional earth gone. Spoke to the rep at Alex, they're bringing those out shortly, and these boards have got plenty of room anyway. So quick run through. New board is going up in this corner. This is all going to be plastic conduit, none of this Copex malarkey. Mr. Bundy and Mr. Wichard, proper conduit, well, plastic anyway. So board there, I'm then going to run a 20-foot, this is client's request, 25mm conduit low level, going to pop up to sockets and then along. So we're having one socket here with a heating point with a bar heater, 6-foot bar heater. This wall is going to have 3 sockets on it, 1, 2, 3. This wall is going to get 2 sockets on it and then a socket back entry, single socket back entry, external socket. I've also got to fit 2 LED 5-foot lights in here. A 2-gang switch. One switch will be doing these 2 lights, and then the other switch will go feed these 2 outside lights that are going to be on the front here. I'll just show you. So you'll end up with 1 light on there and 1 light on there, but I'm going to fit an external photocell dusk to dawn sensor, so even if you've got the switch on, they won't come on until that PIR clicks them on, okay? So what I'm going to do first is, I'm actually missing some bits, lights. I've got to go and pick the conduit up and stuff, but what I'm going to do first is get the board on the wall, get all the saddles in, get the socket screwed in the right place, and then you can just work your pipe towards that stuff. Hope that makes sense. And just to make it totally clear, the client is 100% happy for me to film this job today. Little bonus behind the scenes footage, look, this is what we have to do. Set up tripods, get lights out. I've got the light there, all set up, get this up so I can just get a nice angle of me fitting that, consuming it up there. Right, there we go. Nice little board. I do like these. I do like the Hagars, don't get me wrong, but these little RCBO boards, superb. So you've got 100 amp main switch. Armoured's going to be coming up here, landed into a plastic box because we're not importing the house earth right down there. We're going to put our own means of earthing, so this will be a TT system. Even though the house is on a TT, I'm going to give this its own TT earthing system because it's pretty far. Quite far away, so this is going to get a plastic box. So the house earth will protect this cable, and then this earth, the TT earth spike, will protect this installation here. Okay, so we're just basically importing the live and neutral out of the house into this board, and then I've got a 32 amp which will do a local ring main ring final circuit in this bit, and then a 6 amp which will just do the 4 lights basically. So what I'm going to do now is literally get my conduits in, get the laser level set up. I'll keep you on the time lapse and then you can see exactly what I'm doing. Right, so you get the idea of what I'm doing. So socket, 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 pipe linking them, 20mm, because these are just going to be straight pulls. I'm doing all the drops in 25. These boxes only come with a 20mm knockout, so I'm going to just open them out with a cone cutter to 25. 25mm pipe down along to a heater point, which is just going to be a single socket, and then along again. The client wanted these at 1400, so 1400 there, and I'll just do this side. Obviously I'm not going to film this because I've got to move a lot of stuff, but you get the idea of what I'm doing here. Use your laser level, get all your markings set out, then you can just quickly bang your conduits in, nice and easy. And I've gone for twin and earth just because a drum of singles is like 35 pound, and twin and earth is 50 quid for 100 meters. So we're going with a twin and earth on this one, which is absolutely fine. Right, so here's where we're at. That's going to be the heating point, which is going to be a single socket. And rather than putting this socket dead center, just thinking ahead, I've got to fit a 6-foot bar heater in here, and obviously you don't want it going near plastic conduit. So the heater will come here, the flex will loop into there, and then the heater will fix along there, and then my conduit's going to start here. So I've got plenty of room between that box and that conduit there. So I'm going to nip off in a minute, get some T boxes, 25mm T's, and what I'm doing, this one is just going to get 20mm up. So what I've got is some plastic 25 to 20mm reducers, so just stick that in the 25mm, and then you can just pull a 20mm piece of pipe out of there. It's just a reducer basically. So yeah, I'm going to get all this crud now moved out of my way, laid in the middle here, and then I can get this row round and in, and hopefully get some wiring done soon. So I'm just putting the rest of these conduits, yeah, conduit, and I'm not going to say too many times, saddles around. This one's in. I've just got to drop a 25 down there. It's going to carry on. We're going to go back entry out there to a single socket, which I'm going to go and get in a sec. It's going to carry on round up. There's the switch position. One gripe about this switch, you've got single knockout in the top and double knockout in the bottom. So I've marked my pipe to come straight. I'm going to have to go off centre now with the one coming out the bottom. It's going to look a bit poop, but oh well. Off centre there, centre there. That's then going to run up to a small adaptable box, because I've got to run a Copex out and then pipe along to one light. It's actually on this beam, Chris. Yeah, sorry. So a light onto this beam, one beam, and then a light on that beam there. So that's going to get a box. But then what I've also got to do is pipe out and down to an outside light. So that's just going to get a stop end. That will get a T-box around, and then the dusk to dawn sensor is going to go out on this wall here. Just keep it away from the lights. That's the override for the lights, if you like. So you can switch this switch on. They won't come on until this sensor tells them they can come on, because he doesn't want being left on in the day. Okay, so that's then going to come along the top. The client's going to put some more ply here. It's going to run along the top to the second light. It's going to tee out to that second light, and then along, and then down to the light there, back entry. So the client hasn't got the light, so I'm going to leave him 2 switch feeds out to the lights for now. So I'm going to go off now, get all the bits I need, and then I'll show you this when I've done all the conduit. And you have to run all the way down here to put the camera on, just to get yourself walking back into the job. Right, just a little update for you. all the conduits now in 25mm. Comes from the new consumer unit. Glanded that into there as well. The armoured will gland into that one there, go through that hole. What I've done is do the knockouts, and then I've oversized the plastic so there's no chance of, it's acting as a paxillin, if you know what that is. It goes between a metal consumer unit and maybe a trunking, but in this instance it's just acting as a barrier, so you're not going to touch the metal there. So the plastic's undersized. That's running round. I had a bit of a fail there. I pulled the conduit out and I snapped 3 of the, you know, as you just leave them half on, snap the tops of them off, but oh wow, there's the heater point. And the reason I've done this in 25 is because I'm going to bring the lighting feed, save me going up and into this roof, bring the lighting feed down through the 25mm around and then up to the new switch position. So as you can see, this is all done now. That's a socket, 2 sockets on that wall, and then from this point here, that through box there is the socket that's going to go outside, and then to this point it drops down to 20mm again, new switch. It's going to go up to a T-box there, drop down for a light, dusk to dawn sensor, across the top of here. The guy's going to put ply, so I'll space it off, and then to another light there, and then a T and a T there for these 2 lights. So I'm going to get on with a bit of wiring now. I've got to go and pick up an RCBO for a job tonight. NHS job. I can't film or disclose any information, but that's as much as you need to know. So don't know what I'm going to get done today, but we'll try and get a bit done, eh? Well, I'll just show you what I've done quickly. So I've got me 2 legs of my ring final circuit, ring main. Here, one drops from the board down, along and up. The other one goes down, along and to there. So that one is there to there. This one and then loops across these sockets, back down, along, along, along. It's going to go to that socket. So I'm left with my ring main there and there. So then I'll take one from here, along, up, do these sockets, back down, along, out to that socket, and then this one will just come down, around, and out to that socket. That will then complete the ring main. So once they're all second fixed, we can do some testing, and I'll do a little bit of testing on this one as well, but I've now got to shoot off. Look at that, it's absolutely legendary. Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9. Right, I'm back. Did you miss me? Obviously you didn't see any break in that. Went off, had a quick coffee. My wife brought me an RCBO which has just been delivered. I've got to use tonight on a board, Square D, QOE I think they are. Yeah, so I'm going to get these wired, get the lighting feed round, probably get the socket second fix, and that'll be me done on this one today. And then I've just rang the wholesalers up, dropping off the cable. They said it should have been here yesterday and it's still not here, so I've got to chase that one as well. So I'll stick on the laps and we'll get this done. Right, there we go. As you can see, each socket now has 2 cables hanging out, which is a ring main basically, ring final circuit, whatever you want to call it. What I will do is drill a 20mm hole, back entry, put a piece of pipe straight through, slightly on the angle downwards, just so the water doesn't run in. If you drilled up, water could track back in. So always drill downwards on the angle, then any water won't track into the building. They'll then go back entry into there. So that'd be the last point on the ring main as such, and then each point has got two cables basically. So I'm now going to just pull this 1mm lighting cable round here. I've got some yellow 77, which is cable lube if I need it. It should fire through this 25 quite easy. There's quite a bit of room left in there, so I'm not really worried about the spacing factor inside that conduit there. Some of you might say, why haven't you used metal saddles on this? Because this is a wooden outbuilding. I'm not really worried about premature collapse. The armoured cable is going to come in and go straight into the board there, and then this is all around the perimeter of the walls. So if there was a fire in here, obviously the fire is going to go up. What I will do is put a couple of bandy straps on the conduits that I put above. But yeah, I can't really see that being an issue. If there was a fire, this is just going to mount and fall straight to the floor. And why does a fireman want to get in here anyway? It's not as if he's going to be rescuing anyone out of a building with one door anyway. So yeah, and what he could do if he wanted to isolate this power, he could just isolate it in the house on the MCB there that this is going to connect to. Right, 22mm spade bit. Sorry, I just got to adjust this tripod. There we go. 22mm spade bit straight out the back. Nice bit of 20mm conduit. And what I'll do is I'll just silicone round that when the cables are in. That just gives it a nice pass through the wall there. Well, I'm just going to start wiring this lighting cable. And rather than pulling it all the way from that box all the way through here, start halfway, pull one half that way, and then one half that way. And hopefully that is the wholesaler on the phone. Well, as you can see now, I've got a hole here with a bit of 20mm conduit. That's just going to get a stop end terminal box up to an angle along, pick up that light that's going across the top there, and then carry on. And then the same here. I've got one stub 20mm pipe, again terminal stop end box up, around, drops down, picks up that light, again 20mm stub up, and it will connect onto here. As you can see, I've got my lighting feed pulled in, got them all boxed up now. And so last thing I'm going to do tonight is probably quickly whip round, second fix all the sockets, get the light switch on, and then try and get this conduit finished tonight. Look at that, I have to carry 4 batteries around now for this GoPro. 4 bloody batteries, eh? Okay, just for the people out there, I'm going to leave the CPCs slightly longer for you because I know you like them a bit longer because they get doubled over. So we'll leave them a bit longer to allow for that doubling over there. I'm not even going to bother fitting back box earths because it's got 2 fixed lugs on these metal sockets. Personally, I think it's a waste of time. A lot of people say it's good practice, but should you be removing a socket anyway with it being live? No. And again, that's good practice, isn't it? Not to touch a socket if it's live. And I don't know how well you can see that, but when you actually screw these terminal screws down, you've got a solid bar that goes between, that actually squashes down onto the terminal, onto the faceplate screw there. So I can't see the point in connecting back box earths with plastic conduit that's running between. Some of you might disagree, which is absolutely fine. I'll just continue to do it my way, and you can continue to do it your way. If you have got a spec sheet for these sockets, please feel free to send it me, and I can do these up to the correct torque setting. But for now, we'll just do them as I've always done. Tight, dress them in nicely, and then the earths are nice and long there to jump into the earth terminal there. So that's a couple of minutes of socket, so 15 minutes, I should have it all done and dusted. Not the whole job that is, but second fixed. One thing I will say I like about these, when you come entry into the side here, obviously you're fixing screws here, but the sockets they send, the screws are only just long enough to hit the thing, so you're never going to pierce the cable behind there. Right, last but not least, moving on to this outdoor socket. It's a Wessex, I got it from Toolstation. This is probably the 9th or 10th one of these I've fitted now. I actually quite like this make. So it's quite funny actually, if you wanted to buy the fused spur of these, it's more expensive, but these just come out, so you could just, it's the same enclosure, throw that away and just buy the fused spur. You can get a fused spur for 99p, so you can buy the same enclosure. So as you can see there's my 20mm conduit coming through, so basically going to drill roughly 22mm hole in the back, comb cutter. Okay, feed him on, and as you can see, well, I'll show you in a second, but the conduit actually is coming in to the box. And also don't forget there you've got a little drain hole which comes out the back there, so if you just drill that out, because although these things are waterproof, they get condensation in them, so it will start to fill up with water, so it does need somewhere to be able to drain out. So then just quite simply get one screw in first. Got the longest extension bit in the world. My last atrocious video that I did, sorry to everyone, I fitted the same, and it was on a brick wall, and you know what it's like when you're trying to fit something flat to something that's not flat. It's not easy, but this is actually quite nice because this is flat. Okay, one more. Okay, I don't know how many of you actually fit these, but they give you these little, when you put your screws through in the right place, they give you these little sort of washery things to go in the back. Don't know how much they actually stop, but I suppose if any water tracked through the screw, it might stop that, but who knows. Okay, so they go in there, and then all I'm going to do is put a small bit of silicone around here, second fix this, so I'll just put you on the laps now. Right, one thing I do like about these, probably do it on other manufacturers, you think, oh god, I've second fixed that, but it comes back through the enclosure, look, so you can fit it around it. It says, honest, did it the other day. Square peg round hole, isn't it? There you go. So you can fit that on. Get it seated on the screws, and then should be able to get the 4 little screws on the enclosure there. Like so. Okay, and then you can just dress your cables in and get your sockets sat in there nice and flush. And then what I'll do is, not today because I've got to shoot off in a minute, but I will do all my dead testing at the fuse board, consumer unit, insulation resistance, and then, well, in 2 ends, then insulation resistance, etc. But I'm fairly confident I've got a ring here because I wired it. I'd be very, very shocked and upset if I had a wiring fault on this job, to be honest. And if I did, I would just give up tomorrow. Okay, just there we go. Look at that, nice and easy. That just clicks shut, and then when you want to open it, just open. And these got a little indicator on. Obviously, you can see it's on anyway. Okay. Right, some of you have never seen a photo cell kit before. It's basically just a switch, basically activated by light, like so. This then twists in and then twists off. Okay, it's got a cork gasket that'll basically bolt to the side of the shed. Cable comes straight in the bottom there with a gland. This one doesn't actually give you a gland, but you can put a gland, you know, a stuffing gland on there, bring the cable in, and then all it needs is a neutral live in and then a switch line out, basically. Right guys, that's me done for today. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this into 2 videos. So what have we done today? We've done all the power inside. I've still got to put the lights up, do a couple of conduits around the top for the lighting. I've still got to do the earth rod, which I will film, do the board, which I'll film. I've got to get the armoured in, which still hasn't arrived. I'm hoping it's going to arrive tomorrow. And that will leave me another day just to come back and do any little finishing offs, connecting up, a little bit of testing in the house, etc. So yeah, I'll probably see you tomorrow.